let's get to the man of the hour. I'm curious what he's wearing. Maybe some sunglasses. I don't know. I haven't seen him, so news to me. Whatever he's wearing, the man of the hour, Wyatt Arndt. I knew it. I knew it. He's got his Buffalo Bills. Is that a hat or two? You just got a
That's a
backwards hat
hat.
on.
It's full hat today, boys.
Yeah.
Ooh,
Uncle Stanchie joining us.
Vibe a little bit here.
Okay, Faber's gonna match the vibe.
There we go.
Okay.
There we go. There it is. Yeah. That's some Bret Hart
I'm
vibe. I like
frantically looking around for something. I don't think I have any on me, so I'm gonna
That's
be the
all
only
good.
one in this interview not wearing. Oh my gosh, Faber, the green screen, man. You just
Hell
look
yeah,
like
brother.
you're out of Tron.
Just want to apologize. John Hamm's in the background here. It's been a really busy day, so he's going to be quiet though. He promised he wouldn't talk much. So again, sorry boys, it's the lifestyle I live. So
yeah, understandable. Stanch, how you doing, man? People are very excited that you're jumping on the show here. I don't think you did a hit with us last year. Too busy chatting with celeb. But how's the off season been, man? How are things?
Off season's good because I always tell people when I was coming up watching hockey how much I hated the off season. I want hockey back right away. But now that I work for a living, I love off season. It's just a nice kind of way to kind of calm down and not be burnt out. So, but I'm excited. Even just doing a little bit of the last preseason game was kind of fun having everyone get together. And beginning of the season's kind of full of hope and optimism, and no one's really yelling at each other too much yet before we devolve into the usual anarchy that is Canucks Twitter. So right now it's a little bit nice. Everyone's kind of waiting to see. And last season the vibe was really, honestly, it was pretty shitty because everyone was like, oh, it just felt bad, with the booter. Everyone didn't know what was going on. We knew it was going to be a bad season. This year, perfect plan aside, it just feels a bit better. Like there should be some more storylines that are good. I know the Pedersen thing's hanging over everyone, but other than that, it feels like it should be kind of a bit of a better vibe than what we saw last season. So I'm looking forward to that.
Wyatt, we have a new layout. I don't know if you saw our old layout because you never came on our show, but what can people expect from the Stanchies this year? Because there's a lot of new listeners on this show, a lot of new people from Canucks Army, and I feel like the number one demographic that doesn't understand the Stanchies is Canucks Army readers and commenters. So what can people expect from the Stanchies this year?
Yeah, my Stanchies are very unique in that sense, and I have a lot of weird jokes, but we're going to go back to the well a bit because Botch obviously started this whole thing, and he, was famous for kind of giving the whole overall scope of what was going on around the team and stuff that happened. So working with Faber, again, I always say is one of the best scrum guys I've ever seen. He's going to get the dirt. He's going to talk to the players on off days, game days. We're going to try and get that into the Stanchies. So when you read about it, it's not just about the game itself, but kind of what's going on around the team. So we're going to try and get a bit more insight from the players. So last season, honestly, it felt like I just wanted to hit the ground running and kind of like get a whole season under my belt with Canucks Army. This season now, we've got Cody, I think, and Lachlan are going to kind of come to their own. They're kind of make it their own, and then we're going to get Faber involved, kind of giving us the players are thinking and kind of get a bit more insight from them. And it's a bit tough, obviously, with COVID. Kind of it's limited how like in the old days, man, it really was cool. You go to the locker room and you kind of pull a player to the side. You could talk to them. It was a lot easier to kind of get the groundwork for that sort of stuff. It's a bit tougher now with the restrictions that haven't fully come off yet with the renovations at Rogers Arena. So Faber's got his work cut out for him, but if anyone can do it, I think it's Faber. Not to put too much pressure on you, but we're going to try and include a bit more of that and kind of get a bit more of the overall scope of things, and just and have some stupid jokes, talk about the games, because when the season goes bad, sometimes all you can do is laugh, right? So we kind of what I always say is I want the Stanchies to be like you're talking to your buddies about the game and you're having a bit of fun. It's not the most formal article out there, but I don't want to be formal. Obviously, I'm not a formal guy, so.
Absolutely. We see Lisa in the chat here. All the gifts, empty out that wallet of quads here. Absolutely. That's what we do on the show, or we at least try to. Wyatt, I got to ask, because one of my favorite things about Trust the Process was watching you and Bowman pick your boys. Can you give us a boy for this season? Do you have any front runners early? Because I know you wait till the regular season to really lock in on a boy. Who's your boys on the team so far? Who are some options?
I am a sucker for those guys that produce the AHL that are like, the quad AAA guys, and Will Landon, man. I don't know, something about him. I think he's going to be good as a boy. Obviously Shen was my boy for the longest time, to the point that, when he left the team, he texted me, he said, thanks for the coverage. So I obviously wasn't that impartial, but I do think Will Landon's the next guy that I'm going to be, but think about Shen here. I'm going to go here. The thing about the Shen was he was paid so little and did so much for that money. It's when your contract's huge, like OEL, he's going to be in Florida and probably have a decent season. Everyone's like, oh, Steve told you so. No, it was always the contract. And that's the reality of a salary cap era. Like when you get paid a lot of money, people are going to need you to produce. So that's what the beauty of the boys is. They don't get paid a lot, so they just have to produce, just a little bit, and I'm going to love them. So I think Will Landon's the guy that I'm intrigued by to see what he can do.
Wyatt, it's the subject of our Atlas Goods poll question today. What's the biggest question still facing this team? Your options. I'm going to give you options, and you can always go with other answer if you want. 5-on-5 scoring. Will the by committee defense work? What's the team's identity? And as always, I'm angry.
Yeah, I'm gonna go like I'm not gonna go with I'm angry, but it kind of relates to it a bit. I'm gonna go for me, JT Miller. Honestly, for me, which JT Miller we're gonna get because when he first joined the team, he won this fan base over. Like he was, forecheck harder than anyone. He backchecked. He was producing. The Lotto line still lives in infamy. Like JT Miller was like everything you could ask for and more. We've seen ups and downs of JT. Even like he denied his inability to backcheck a couple times, but once it hit national TV, finally he said, "Okay, maybe I could have backchecked a bit harder." So we're gonna see. He's yelled at teammates. He's like this. He's Rip Wheeler, right? He's the guy that kind of like Ryan Kessler, like you love, like that's who he is, right? You live and die with that kind of player. That he's either that emotion that you may not like. It also is what powers him to be a good player. So I'm really intrigued, just kind of with Quinn Hughes' leadership, and because the worst thing you want to have is like Quinn Hughes is your new captain. And in like game 2, JT Miller's throwing a tantrum. That's going to undercut Quinn Hughes. It's going to bring up questions like that. Will take the spotlight put on JT. So I think for him, like, and I think to Talkett's credit, he's been on top of that. Like that can't be what you're doing. But I am intrigued to see if that slips out a bit and see what he does and see what kind of JT Miller we get.
Walk me through McGruff, the crime dog, your boy, Cole McWard as well. I thought he might be a guy that you liked off the top because he's playing with Quinn Hughes. He's not making a lot of money. I got to get some photos of him leaving the game or coming into the game today because we're going to see if he's in full detective mode today. I'm talking about Cole McWard. Your thoughts on him, I guess, starting the season. And I think we're at that point now where we can start to really have a discussion about it. Like as Quinn Hughes' partner and the top pairing guy on the right side with the Canucks' defenseman, who a lot of people are hoping is going to be a strong kind of talking point here in the conversation about the Norris, might be starting the season with Cole McWard this year. Your thoughts on McWard and the spot that he's at right now?
I mean, I wanted to make it just for the nickname alone. I want to have the crime dog in the Stanchies because I know the Chaos Draft might not be here for too long, so I need another really banger of a nickname. I'm surprised as anyone. Like, you're right. He is a perfect boy candidate. This guy coming out of nowhere. Obviously, anytime someone projects the team, there's always like those 4 guys in the NHL that everyone's like, yeah, they're top 4 D man. You're like, no, every team has these guys. It just doesn't work out that way. Like even going back in time to wingers and stuff. I remember like Jesse Schultz for the Canucks, where Dave Noah was like, this guy's gonna be a 40-goal scorer with the Sedins, and he lasted 1 game. I'm not suggesting that's gonna happen to McWard, but it is surprising that he's got that spot. I think obviously in a perfect world, you want a more established guy like Ben Hughes, but with his committee defense, I can see maybe that's kind of a plug and play situation. I don't know how long it's gonna last. Like, I'm not trying to be too cynical. Obviously, they're just gonna see what works, and I'm excited to see how it goes. But yeah, when it comes to picking a boy, Landon, I can't get over that AHL production. I just think like for puck movement, like I just don't know how many times we've seen a guy come up into the team as a defenseman and they just can't do anything with the puck. Like, they're getting pressure, they can't get the puck in the zone, and puck movement is so important in today's game. And I mean, I'm not trying to trash the crime dog, but I just Landon to me, I think just has those skills that like can kind of maybe make him acclimate to the NHL a bit quicker. So that's the guy I want to see the most.
Wyatt, what did you make of the by committee comment from Talkett when he was explaining it and all that sort of stuff? Like, what did you make of all that?
Talkett's fun because his coaching style is a lot, not a lot, but very kind of similar to Travis Green. It really is. They share a lot of similarities. They're friends. I'm sure they compare notes. But Talkett's a very different talker than Green. Green is always very we always make kind of fun of his little like laughing at drafts. It's a good question. It's a hard league to win in. Like he was very guarded, right? You couldn't get much from Travis Green. And Talkett, I think maybe it was because he's on TV or whether it's his personality, he's a bit more open. It could be problematic in this market because we kind of pick things apart to no end. So I'm wondering if it'll ever get him in trouble. But I think he owns it in a way that I always tell people when like Roberto Luongo figured out this market, it's about not getting too razzled, right? Just own it, like whatever. It was whatever. And like as long as you kind of admit and kind of do the Eminem, like make fun of yourself before they do, you'll be fine. So I think Talkett actually will do okay with this market. Committee by defense, honestly, he's just kind of saying what I think we're all seeing. Like this is a new defense. There's nothing set in stone. There's so many new additions here. Like that actually, it all makes perfect sense to me. Like, yeah, I have no issue with that. I like his approach. Like it's way better than him kind of being like so tight-lipped and guarded as if like national secrets are about to get out. Like clearly the defense is going to be, a work in progress to start the season.
I think the interesting thing about by committee is like this isn't like an even distribution between the committee as well. Like you're going to see a lot of time with Cole McWard. You're going to see a lot with Hronek, but you're not getting 5 minutes of Tyler Myers and Quinn Hughes. Like I think people see that quote and they think, what, you're just going to rotate Quinn Hughes? Like, no, that's not how it's going to go, man. You're going to see a ton of minutes with McWard. We saw it on Saturday, getting a chance for Hronek and Hughes kind of bounce together after a penalty kill, those type of situations. So we'll have to see how that committee thing goes. But I think it's kind of where the Canucks are at, right? Like that's kind of what the defense core looks like. And they have done a pretty decent job changing it, especially since this new management group came in. But that's just the way I look at it. Wide, I'm thinking like they kind of have to go by committee. It's not like you want to roll and really commit to Cole McWard as your top pairing right D to start the season. As good as he looks coming into the arena, that's a hard thing to bet on.
Yeah, I think, locking into anything would be a bit ridiculous. And like he was like, no, man, Cole McWard's the guy for the entire season. Like that's never going to happen anywhere. I think again, this is just speaks to the honesty that talk is giving us. Like, no, it's going to be a fluid process. We're going to see who's going to work. Like, anytime you bring in a bunch of new guys, you got to figure out what you've got because preseason's great, but once regular season hits, it's a completely different game. So we're gonna see what's happening. Like my main concern about the defense, honestly, always comes down to like puck movement, and that guy keeps saying today's NHL game, like Quinn Hughes stands out because he's an elite guy that can move the puck. Not everyone has to be Quinn Hughes, but we've seen countless guys come to the Canucks in the recent years that just like they get the puck and they can't make a good outlet pass. They can't get like all it is like off the boards and outs. You're giving up the puck position all the time. So for me, Carson Soucy could be a good guy, could be another Luke Chen, but you want to see guys that can move the puck because I think end of the day, when teams are pressuring you, you've got to be able to get out of your zone, and Canucks will struggle with that. And I'm most interested to see kind of how these guys come together in terms of just like transitioning the puck because that's going to be a huge part of any success they have.
I don't know if you've been in the arena since the changes. I guess the one that we've seen is the seats in that special, you got a lot of money section, as well as the new scoreboard that's up there. The scoreboard I've seen in person, it looks excellent. Your thoughts of, I guess, the changes that are, I don't know if we're on phase 2, Quads, you're the smart guy here, phase 2 or 3 of 5 or something. The phases are happening, and the seats sound like they're changing as well. Your thoughts on the changes that we've seen so far, Wyatt?
Yeah, it feels like the Canucks have kind of fallen behind. They used to be cutting edge. Remember Rodriguez first came here. It was like, yeah, Canucks are like, right there. And it's, they were like last in the league in a lot of categories in terms of upgrades. So it's nice to see it kind of getting the upgrades. For me, obviously a neutral color for the seats just makes sense. Like the maroon colors, like I get it. You're excited about the Orca jersey. That's a shitty color. They look like trash. They look like old porn seats. They're dirty. They're disgusting. Nobody likes those seats. No one has liked those seats. So anything that gets rid of stuff from the messy area, that's a good thing for me. And black just looks slick. And it'll look good at the skate jersey. Like if they want to switch jersey colors, black is good, right? Like you can't go wrong. So it's kind of nice to see that because there is like we've heard this stories. There's rats at the arena, like the old scoreboard. Like it's nice to kind of get that upgrade to the arena and make it feel like, because if you're spending, again, to the point you were bringing earlier, like when you're spending a lot of money on a game, like you want to feel like you're getting that next level experience, right? And the Canucks kind of needed to upgrade, so it's good that it's finally going that direction.
All right, final one here. We'll let you go on this one. Yesterday, Frank Saravalli's on the show, and Quads asked for a prediction. Frank said that the Phillies were going to win 4-1. Yesterday, later in the day, the Phillies end up winning 4-1. So we found there's some sort of magical potion here on this show for predictions. Give us something for this season, Wyatt, and then we're going to circle back to this in about, 5-6 months from now and see if this amazing prediction came true in the same way that Frank's did yesterday. Just like out of nowhere, predicting a perfect score in a baseball game. How tough is that? Floor is yours, Wyatt. Give us a solid prediction for the season here that you want to come true.
I did it for Cody's article. I'm going to stick with it. I'm going to go even harder. Kuzmenko's getting 50 goals. Booking it now. He's going to regress a little bit, just a tad, but he's still hitting 50. I'm calling it. He's going to fly. That guy is coachable. He's been working out. He loves scoring more than anyone in the world. I'm calling it 50 goals right now. Get back to me when it happens.
I love it. I think I forgot, Quads. We have to add the drop of Kuzmenko imitating Podkolzin's baby. I have the audio for that. We do need to get that drop back. Wyatt, appreciate you joining the show here. Stanchie's game 1, right? We're talking regular season gets going. We'll have it next, I guess, a week from today.
Yes.
So Quad, get ready. You're staying up late again, man.
I'm good with it.
All right. Well, Wyatt, thank you so much for joining us here. Anything else you want to close out with before we get going? A week away from our first Stanchie, so we're all excited about that.
No, it's obviously biased, but I've been loving working for Canucks Army. I do think we're going to bring the best content you can get around. Like honestly, you've seen other people kind of backed off the local content, and the industry is a tough one at the best of times. But I think Canucks Army has stepped up in a huge way, and I love the team we have here. So I honestly I cannot wait to show people what we got from this season.
Absolutely. Taking it up a level, I think, as well. So we're excited for this year. And I'm working on that Google Drive. I got a Google Doc going.
Get the drive. Send me the Google Drive. I mean, come on, brother.
I mean, it doesn't look great. I was going to say, I should get an Excel sheet going or something. I feel more comfortable on there. Anyways, it is out there already. It just looks horrible. So we'll get that your way and start getting some quotes. Excited to work together and make that happen this year. So thanks for joining us here, Wyatt. Appreciate it.
Thanks, boys. Have a good rest of the show.
There he is, Uncle Stanchie joining the show here.